Hi, my name is Keith Cooper, Northlight Images, and in this short video I'm going to discuss a bit of a health warning about paper reviews. Now these are reviews of photo papers that you may see. The reason I was thinking about it is that in the past I've written quite a few brief paper reviews and I put a health warning with those. And since I've started making videos, I've not really done any of these particular paper reviews. Came about because I've been asked to look at 3 different papers here from Innova. 2 of which, curiously enough, are ones that I have used for years and years, but are new formulations. They've changed very slightly, usually just the backing, but I wanted to re-evaluate them as papers rather than just think, well, I've used this paper for the last 15 years, it must be great. Is it still great? Now, I suspect it will be, but I want to actually have a look. The other one I've got is a new paper from Innova, which is a resin coated photo premium matte. It's a paper, resin coated paper, so that's like this luster paper here, but it's a smooth matte finish. It's a new one from Innova and it's supposed to look very nice. We shall see. But anyway, I'm going to be testing those initially on the Epson P5000 here, which is why I've got rolls, 17-inch rolls of the paper to have a test of. But back to that health warning. There are 2 styles of paper reviews. Mine is much more I have some technical details obviously in them, but it's much more, what does it look like? What sort of images do I like using this paper for? How well did it profile? Does it look good? The other type of reviews you'll find tend to be really heavy on the numbers. You can always tell if you get more than 1 or 2 little diagrams showing gamut, if you get tables of Dmax values and things like that, and color accuracy values and stuff like that, it looks mighty impressive, but it's meant to look mighty impressive. Watch out for vast amounts of data included in a paper review with no good explanation of what these numbers mean. Remember, data is not equivalent to meaning. Just because you've got lots and lots of numbers doesn't mean it means anything. Doesn't tell you how well it's going to look. Now, why do you get tons and tons of numbers in some of these reviews? It's almost certainly it's aimed at an audience who is swayed by numbers. Now, there is a strong element in some areas of photography of people who want the numbers. It's often people with engineering technical backgrounds, and this is a way of bringing in their expertise into photography. It's also a convenient way, and I've covered this in quite a few videos talking about things, it's a very convenient way of avoiding having to think about your actual photography. It's much easier to test images like this than it is actually to look at an individual photo and think, why did I take that? What am I trying to achieve? What do I want to show? Now, to me, looking at a paper, I cannot divorce the paper from the images that I'm going to print on it. Now, with modern printers, there's actually not that much difference between any good printer, and there is not a modern printer that I could not produce results on, a decent level printer we're talking about, desktop larger and larger, that I couldn't produce pictures on that I would be happy with. Now, what am I going to do with those pictures? Well, obviously I'm going to sell them, that's one thing. So things like ink lifetime and things like that are important in some areas, but nowhere near as important as many would have it. Remember that, as I say, if you see lots of data, it's aimed at people who are swayed by data. If I make a duff print on a printer, it's my fault. It's my poor editing, it's my photography. And that is the bit that a lot of people don't really want to address. They would much rather get lots of new papers, test papers, and I produced a video about which I think should be your first papers to go with a new printer, and why just buying sample packs is a waste of money until you have the experience to understand what's in it. I will try in reviews to give you useful information. Now, you may decide it's not relevant, but hopefully in deciding that it's not relevant for you, for your work, for something, it's been useful. Now, the data is there on thickness, on other stuff. You need that sometimes for setting things up. But what you do not need are vast great tables and charts, something I've believed in for years. I put a link in the notes to this video to all my older paper reviews. There's a big long list of them, mostly UK ones, I'm afraid, because that's where I am. I don't test papers which are very often available in the US, for example. So take that into note. But remember, there are only so many paper makers, so you'll find something similar somewhere else, probably. But anyway, as I say, my testing, I concentrate on the physical aspects. What's it like? What does it look like? Does it profile okay? That's a technical thing, but you don't need to know the numbers. I do provide a few of them for black and white and stuff. But yeah, in general, in looking at a paper, you need to decide, does this paper contribute something to your images in a way that you want? So I've got a sort of a Barita style paper, large print there, another large print there. I've got several prints. I've got several prints I've done on sort of heavy cotton rag art papers. Now they're the biggest difference, is whether I choose a warm or a bright white paper for the look of the image. That's the important stuff. I'm afraid I'm never going to say, yes, you should use this paper, or no, you shouldn't. It's very rare you'll find a paper these days that won't give good results in a printer. Occasionally it does happen, and so it is one of the things I would test. But anyway, there you have it. I will be looking at these, and I'll cover these different papers, but I say have a look in the meantime at the link I'll put in the notes to this and see some of my previous paper reviews. It covers a lot of it, and I have done quite a few bits of video about choosing papers and things as well, so you've got that as well. Hope that's of use. Please do subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with what's new stuff I'm testing out and having a look at, and thanks for watching.